Hey, it's Deborah from Create with Compassion. I'm a Fun Stampers Journey independent coach. I finally got my gel press and pan pastels off the shelf and onto the crafting table to create this beautiful card. I would love to share with you the technique that I learned from one of the concept designers at Fun Stampers Journey. Let's create with compassion. The technique used to create the background on this card is one that I learned from Shannon Smith. She's a concept designer at Fun Stampers Journey. It uses the gel press that is exclusive to Fun Stampers Journey. It's 8.5 by 11. I've got the Bubble stencil, and you can do this with any stencil that you have. This is a 6 by 6 stencil. I'm going to put some whipped cream acrylic paint. I'm just going to put like a little line running across there, and then I'm going to bring in a workable sheet. This is what the stamps come with your stamps. I'm just going to set that down, move the paint off to the side. I've got bubblegum liquid color. I'm just going to put a little bit here, kind of like that. I can always add more. I don't want too much because then I might get a mess if they blend too much together. And I've got pretty amethyst. I'm going to put that there. And some limeade splash. I'm going to put that down here. I have them apart a little bit because when I use my brayer, they're going to spread and I don't want them to blend too much. Now I'm going to move that back to the side. Bring back in my gel press with my paint. And I'm going to move this paint around, get it all over my gel press and my stencil. The nice thing about the 6 by 6 stencil is that's a little bigger than my card front, so it kind of gives me a good idea of what I'm working with for my card base. Now I'm going to bring back in this liquid color, and I'm just going to move my brayer back and forth on this to get some color on my brayer. And then I'm going to put that, transfer that onto my gel press. You can move it slightly up and down. And I want a little more color there, especially with my purple. So I'm gonna add a little more purple. And I'm actually just going to add the purple. Get some of that onto my brayer. And then come back, add some more of that purple. I think I'm satisfied with the colors of the pink and the green. So I'm going to set this aside. Now what I'm going to do, I want to get two prints from this. I'm going to peel up my stencil, move my gel press to the side, place that down. You might need to keep baby wipes handy because it will get a little messy. I have a piece of oatmeal cookie cardstock. I'm going to press that onto my stencil and rub that all around. I'm getting like the negative of the stencil, so we'll peel that up. There we have this piece. Bring back in the gel press, and I have another piece of oatmeal cookie. I'll lay that on the gel press and put some pressure all around on that, and then we'll peel that up. And here's the background piece for that. Here we now have two background pieces for a card. I love the different looks on that. I'll be right back. I'm going to take my gel press and the other items I used over to the sink to get them cleaned quick. Just going to set those aside to dry. I'll be using the largest flower from Pretty Petals as well as the coordinating die. Flower here inked up with black licorice. Since I'm making two cards, I'm going to go ahead and stamp this twice. To color the flowers, I'm actually going to use some pan pastels. This was my first time playing with them, and they are a lot of fun. You can use any coloring medium that you would like. I've got one of the sponge tools that come with it, and I'm going to use, this is the bubblegum color that coordinates with our colors. I'm just going to get some of that on there And I'm using the bubble gum for the center of the flower. So I'm just going to move my paper around and just add a little color there. Just going to blow off the excess. And then to move to a new color, I'm just going to move this all around on my paper until it's clean. And then I can move to the pretty amethyst color. These are in the Confectionery Days. If you go outside the lines a little bit, the white erasers work really well at getting rid of extra pan pastel colors. Now it's time to get some die cutting done. I've got 2 pieces of Limeade Splash that are 5 1/8 by 3 7/8, and I'm going to use this Mystic Vine die set. It's also a host exclusive reward that you can earn at a great price with a party of just $150 or more. And if you're wanting to conserve your cardstock, it'll fit nicely in the middle of that. This is going to be our layer, but if you cut it out right there, nobody will ever know. I'll also get the flowers cut out. The paint on the oatmeal cookie cardstock is a real thin layer, and it seems to be dry already. So I've just got some tape runner on the back of that, and I will center it on the Limeade Splash cardstock. Got some foam squares on the back of this now, and I'm just going to center this onto a white card base that is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2 folded in half. So my fold is on the side. And then we'll bring in our Mystic Vine pieces, a little bit of Journey Craft glue, and on this one I adhered it down pretty well, but I'm going to just put some adhesive kind of on the stem this time so that I can give the leaves a little more dimension, not have them so flat up against the card. On these larger ones down at the bottom, I'll put some glue on those because they're going to be hidden anyway. I'm just going to kind of put it at an angle there. I'm going to add a little bit of sparkle silk to this one. See if I like it. Although you can't go wrong with sparkle silk. I'm going to shake that up pretty well. Just add a little bit here and there on that. Okay, maybe a little more than a little bit. And then I'm going to put some foam squares on the back of these to pop up. I've got those down in the bottom right corner. And I'm going to bring in a little bit of Journey Sparkle Dust. I'm just going to put a little bit on the pink bubblegum center of the flower. And I'll bring in my Journey Glaze, and I'm going to put Journey Glaze on the entire flower. Got my Journey Glaze on, and you can lift up some of these leaves if you'd like for a little more added dimension. And that is the card. You get, I think, quite a different look when you pull straight from the gel press versus from the stencil. This one has the sparkle silk on it, and this one does not, but they both turned out lovely. Thank you so much for joining me today.